In this video, I'm going to show you how to start and stop your stitching when you're stitching with a ruler work foot like I have here, or really any free motion foot. When you start your quilting, the first thing you always have to do is bring the bobbin thread up to the top of your quilt sandwich. You don't want to leave the bobbin thread down on the underside because it can get tangled into other stitching. It can create a thread nest, and it can make something ugly on the back of your quilt that you'd have a hard time fixing or removing. So you want to make sure you have 2 or 3 inches of bobbin thread pulled out of the bottom of your out of the machine so that you have something to grab onto. I'm going to use my needle up, needle down button, though you can of course use the hand wheel on the right side of your machine if you want to move the needle down and up again. So holding on to my thread, I'm going to go needle down, needle up again, and if I pull my sandwich out, there you can see that I am pulling up the bobbin thread, and I can just grab it, and there it is, and I go back and I recenter my sandwich and start to stitch. Alternatively, you can use the flossing method, and this is nice, works pretty well because you don't have to move your sandwich if you want to stay close to where you were. So in this case, I'm going to use my needle up, needle down button, but instead of pulling immediately on the thread, I'm going to wrap it first around my left index finger, and I'm going to hold the needle thread between my thumb and my right forefinger, and then I am just going to slide the thread under the ruler work foot and pull, and there you can see it's coming out to the side, and then I can grab it and pull it the whole way out. And I've done that without having to move my sandwich, which can be kind of convenient. So when you're ready to stitch, you have a choice. You can either start by burying your threads, and this is where you take the thread ends and you hide them in your quilt sandwich. And you can, I've covered that in another video because you use the same method for all variations or all kinds of quilting. But if you want, with the ruler foot or the free motion foot, you can simply take a couple of very short stitches. And so what I will do here is I will just take, maybe 3 or 4 stitches where I hardly move the sandwich at all, just to make little short ones. And then when I'm ready to go, I can just put my ruler there and start my stitching. Now, when I get to the end, I will repeat that process of just taking a few little short stitches and not moving the sandwich very much at all, and coming up and pull the sandwich out, get myself a couple of inches of thread on the top and on the bottom, and then to bring the bobbin thread to the top, all I have to do is tug on the needle thread, and there you can see the loop comes up. I get something pointy. In this case, I'm using my seam ripper. That pulls up my bobbin thread, and if I micro stitched at the end, I could just trim the thread ends off. If I want to bury them, I can do that next.